In prior years, obviously there was CityLink, there was these big hygiene businesses. Rentokil was not a majority pest control company when you came on board.
Not at all.
Did you guys look at the portfolio and say, well, wait a second, pest control's highest margin, high visibility on cash flow, capital light, we need to focus on there? Thought through the density thing. When was the active decision made to say, you know what, let's become a world-class pest control organization?
We did a little exercise, and it was based on Bain Consulting's their 4-box grid. I think they came up with it in the 1950s. So this is not really, you know,
cash cow.
Exactly, all of that. So I mean, you know, one of the first jobs I was given was to come up with a strategy for the company, and I'd not really done a lot of strategy work before, but I thought, well, I know where I'll
Find
start.
Johnny Cochran and
exactly. I've been too busy doing other things. But I took the Bain 4-box grid, and exactly, we sort of worked out, well, which are the businesses we shouldn't be in here at all? Which are the businesses that are low margin, low growth, and really haven't got any great potential? And they're the ones we need to get out of. Which are the ones that actually have got all the right raw materials? And Pest, as you say, you know, good level of growth, good margin, the ability to roll up into something much, much bigger, the ability to make a step change in investment in technology and innovation. So that we put in the top right. And then hygiene, which you know, if we had more time, we could talk a lot about in hygiene. Hygiene is actually as good as pest control.
I've heard you almost say hygiene's the new pest control,
right?
I think you use those words.
I have said that because it's growing as quickly, its margins are slightly higher, its customer retention rate is even higher. So you've actually got the same, it's a density play. So it was quite clear the businesses we should deprioritize, and then it's quite clear the ones we should. Yep. Now the question then, I could bore for Britain on this subject. It isn't about the strategy and it isn't about the plan. It's about execution. And anyone who's ever worked with me or hung around me long enough knows that that's what I major on. A half decent plan that you execute the living daylights out of will always give you better results than the perfect plan. So it really is about execution and making sure that you deliver on the commitments you've set out to deliver. So I can go back and I can look now for a decade of 3-year plans. Where do we think we're going to be in the next 3 years? And then roll it forward another year, roll it forward another year. I think we've beaten the plan every year over that 10 years. That's not trying to sound conceited. It's trying to make the point that if you execute the plan, good things happen. But for me, the whole, the magic sauce, and this is, this is how I feel, but I also know it's how the pest industry feels. For me, the whole model is about people. It starts and finishes with people. So the technology's good, and the brand's good, and what you do on the web's good, and innovation and all of that's good. Somebody asked me, I was on stage on one of our events, and there was a comedian there, and he was trying to have a bit of fun with me, which was fine. I was in 330 Germans and a German stand-up comedian asking me questions and then translating the answers into German. It was half the audience were really enjoying it, the other half were cringing like that. And he said to me, he said, you're a CEO. He said, it's not even a job. What do you even do? And I thought, oh, this is a bit awkward. What do I do? What is the job? And I came up with this terribly lame answer. Lame, but sort of true.
Okay.
I said, I tell you what my job is. I got to get 58,000 people out of bed every morning. I've got to get them to work. I've got to get them to do an amazing job for their customers. I've got to get them to do it safely. I've got
Without supervision.
Without supervision on their own. I've got to get them to do it happily. Then I've got to get them home again in the hope that they come back to work the next day. And it was a really lame answer. But in that little anecdote is the kernel of what I think the business is all about. If you can find good people, engage with them, inspire them, give them good training, encourage them to develop their careers with you, stay with you longer, good things happen. And that's the key to execution in a pest business and a route-based business. So that's really what I've majored on. If anything else about the last 10 years, what do I think I've done well or haven't done so well? I would say working on culture, working on people, has been the most important thing that I think that we've done at Rentokil, and I'm very, very proud of what we've achieved there.